bloody lad. Inside that Land Rover was filthy.
Go easy on him, Matt. He's washed them down once already.
Yeah. Could have fooled me.
Well, no one can do it to your standard. At least he's trying.
How's Susan now?
Still in bed, poor love. School holidays and all.
Right. Call the doctor.
Matt, she doesn't want the doctor.
I said call her!
Here's Dr. Rowan for you. Hello, Susan.
Mum, I said I didn't need a doctor.
I'll be downstairs.
Well, the bag's 25% up on last season, which I think is a very creditable achievement. We had a good day shooting.
Well, Lord Ashfordley wants us to let the matter rest. My sergeant thinks that Greengrass had a hand in it.
Aye. And if he did, I'll get to hear about it sooner or later. Not that you'll ever be able to pin it on him. Far too canny. Hello, lovey.
Nice film.
Yeah, we're fab. Mum, may I take my tea up to my room, please?
If you like.
You go on up, Sue. I'll bring it.
What do you say to your brother?
Thanks. And 2 sugars in that tea, mind.
Cheeky monkey.
She's our clever one, Mr. Rowan.
It might be better if you wait downstairs. The surgeon's on his way now. She's lost a lot of blood, and they may have to do a D&C.
I don't understand.
Matt, she went to school as usual. Matt took her to the bus. She seemed quite cheerful.
We were that careful with her, Mr. Rowan. Always knew exactly where she was. Never allowed her to stay out late.
That's why we can't understand it.
So she went to school, and after school she went to the pictures.
I don't believe she was pregnant. There must have been a mistake.
Matt, she was 3 months.
Well, why didn't she tell us then? I mean, she's not got a boyfriend.
We've racked our brains, Mr. Rowan, honestly.
Did you know of anyone, Chris?
If she were courting, we'd know about it. That's the finish of it. No, Mr. Rowan. Someone forced himself on her. She was too frightened to tell us. It's the only explanation. And if I could get my hands on him...
And she had no access to any money? Nothing tucked away in the post office, anything like that?
I gave her what she needed.
Has anything gone missing from the house recently?
No, she wouldn't do that, Mr. Rowan. That'd be stealing.
She had no boyfriend and no money. She was only a school kid.
OK, let's get back to yesterday. And what time did she get back from the pictures?
6:30. You were here.
And how did she get home?
Taxi. Dan Halcombe.
Right. That should be all for now, thank you. Do you mind if I look in her room?
No. I'll take you up. Excuse the mess. I found this under the bed. She must have been trying to get rid of the baby. Don't tell Matt.
Hi there. Are you making tracks to the village?
Sorry,
I'm kind of looking for a ride.
I run a taxi service, madam. If I gave free lifts, it'd defeat the object.
That's a taxi. You do have them up here, then? That's cool.
Yes, we also have customers who expect to pay to use them.
Oh, come on, be a pal. I'm new to the area.
A bit short of lolly, Barbara.
No, I just forgot to cash a cheque. Call me Babs, all my mates do. Barbara sounds so formal.
First time in these parts, is it?
Mm-hmm.
I never thought much of London myself. Is that where you live?
Yeah. A little place, the World's End.
Oh, bad as that, eh?
No. Wales End is an area in London. It's,
I know, Chelsea, King's Road, swinging London, Mary Quant and all
I
that.
always thought that was a load of nonsense. I quite like it myself.
So what are you doing up here? Visiting friends?
Oh, more than a friend. Someone very special to me, Vernon. Drop me right here. I'd like to take in some of the local vibe. Oh, this looks a nice old pub.
I'll tell you what. I'll join you for a bevy if you like. Introduce you to the landlord. See what you make of his vibe.
The building seems kind of together. You know, in equilibrium.
Well, it should be. I wouldn't have taken it on without a full structural survey.
No, I mean, it seems at one with itself, Oscar. At peace.
Oh, you should try being in here some Saturday nights when the young farmers get going. Oh, it's not very peaceful then, is it?
Compared to some trendy bars in London, this has an historic aura, a sense of a different time.
Sounds like you've travelled a lot. So what's your favourite place?
Mysore, southern India. The palace is amazing. A real sense of calm.
I'd love to go to India.
If it's meant, Jenny, you'll go. That's what the Buddhists say.
Buddhists? Who are they then?
That bloke that knocks around with the Beatles. The Matahari.
A Maharishi. Matahari was a female spy, you pillock.
So what actually brings you up here then, Babs?
Love. Love is all you need. It's the most powerful vibe on earth. Stevie, darling. Great to see you. Don't look so worried.
I've been worried ever since I got your letter.
Honestly, Stevie, you'd think that I was bad news or something. Well, relax. Everything's cool. My life's very together. I've not come looking for anything.
No?
I've just popped up for a couple of days. I haven't seen you since you transferred from Manchester. I've missed you. You're still my baby. Still my boy.
Well, this is Aidensfield.
Hey, I love it here. It's got a great vibe. Met some nice people in the pub.
You've been in the Aidensfield Arms?
Yeah, I met Vernon, Oscar, Jenny, David, a whole crowd.
Did you tell them you're my mother?
Hey, you're not ashamed of me, are you? Tune in. Turn on. You're so negative sometimes. Just like your father. Both Scorpios. That's your trouble.
How were things in London?
Great. Met this wonderful creative guy, a writer.
Does he have a name?
Jack de Paulnay. Just had his first novel published. He introduced me to some great people. Musicians, poets, painters. I've no wish to be rude about your father and the army, but we just weren't suited.
I know. Chalk and cheese. Actually, Mum, it's really good to see you.
Oh, hi, Alf. Yeah, on my way.
Duty calls? Make yourself at home, Mum. I'll see you later.
Ciao. Operator, long distance, please. It's a number in the USA.
You want me to collect a trunk tomorrow from Whitby Freight Station?
Yes, it's in my maiden name, Walker. It was too heavy to bring on the train. You did tell me you were in the delivery and dispatch business, didn't you? You've got a fleet of lorries.
That's his fleet there.
Thank you, Bernard. I'll handle this. Sounds like a two-man job. I'll have to pay David. Now, let me see. Call it 30 bob.
Fine. No problem.
Not wishing any offence, Babs, but earlier you didn't have the cab fare from the station.
Don't worry. I've plenty of bread.
Yes, but we don't even know where you're staying or anything.
Relax, it's cool. I'm staying at the police house with PC Crane, and I'll pay you on delivery of the trunk.
You with Steve? Our local bobby? Oh, well, that's fine. No problem.
Thanks. Ciao. Hi, Oscar. Glass of house red, please. Can I get you a drink, Bernie?
No, I'm fine, thanks, Babs.
When do you expect Vernon back with my trunk?
Oh, he'll be some time yet. You're staying at the police house, I understand.
It's much nicer than I expected. It's quite cosy, just the two of us.
It's none of my business, but I wouldn't have thought that you and Steve... You seem such different people.
Oh, you don't know Stevie like I do. We go back years. He's a great guy. In fact, the first time I met him, he hadn't got a stitch on, stark naked. Then the midwife handed him to me. It was nearly £8. We're not lovers, Oscar. He's my son.
See, have another glass of wine on the house.
Hello, darling. Oh.
It cost me nearly £7. Any chance of knowing what's going on?
I'm sorry, Stevie. I hated having to lie. It's all gone wrong with me and Jack. That trunk's all I've got in the world. I had nowhere else to go. I'm so sorry, Stevie. We were miles behind with the rent. Got thrown out of the flat. Jack's a gifted writer, but hopeless with money.
He's not the only one.
I know. I'm just as bad. We had a blazing row. He left me. A mate of his sent him a cheap ticket to the States. Jack's a dreamer. Can't face reality. I won't be a burden to you, Steve. It's just for a couple of weeks till I sort myself out.
I don't see how.
I'll sell some of my stuff. Books. Jewellery. And these should fetch a good price. One of a set of London scenes by a young painter I know.
What's it supposed to be?
Can't you tell? Trafalgar Square.
Has anyone, apart from you, ever heard of this artist?
Oh, he's going to be very big. Oh, all right, he's just dropped out of Chelsea Art College. But I believe he's genuinely talented.
Jack's not the only one who's a dreamer, Mum. I've got to get back to work.
So it's all right if I crash here for a bit, then?
Don't seem to have any choice, do I?
What was in that trunk, Babs? I'm sure I've put my back out.
Valuable works of art. Sadly, I have to sell some, so if you know of anyone. This is a set of 3 London landmarks by a very talented painter, Tristram Mackerel.
Well, certainly very colourful.
What's it called?
Big Ben.
Looks nothing like Big Ben.
It isn't Big Ben, it's a painting.
Oh, well, if you look closely, it's exactly like Big Ben. Well, I've seen that on the brown sauce bottles. What, you see? There's the clock.
Thank you, David. Very perceptive.
Yeah, quite right, David. Art is colour and form, has been from Leonardo to Pablo Picasso. I mean, a painting doesn't have to be realistic. It's not a photograph.
Thank you, Oscar. I should have known you'd appreciate them.
Actually, this place could do with a bit of brightening up. So, how much do you want for them?
I paid £40 for the set.
Are you sure you don't mind breaking up the set?
No. Tristram would have wanted this one to have a good home.
What's it called again?
Trafalgar Square.
Right, Babs, here we are. £10.
Be worth 50 times that much in a few years.
We'll have one each.
Thanks. It's a nice vibe, all of them finding a home in the community.
What about this one?
Oh, that's Tower Bridge. It's not finished. Still, Tristram wouldn't have wanted it to be left all alone. You can be its guardian.
What? You mean I've got to look after it?
No, David. You have good karma. It's yours to keep. There must be some mistake.
Oh, there's no mistake, Mum. And who were you phoning in Los Angeles?
Jack, I missed him terribly. I had to talk. He missed me too. He's in Los Angeles trying to sell his novel to make into a Hollywood film. I'm sorry I got you into trouble. I won't call him again.
And where did you get this money?
I sold my paintings in the pub.
You sold worthless junk to people I know. I've got to work here, Mum.
Wondered where you got to.
Amazingly tranquil, this spot. I bet ancient ley lines run through here.
Mum, I'm gonna have to sort out some house rules. Firstly, no more flogging your knickknacks to people I know.
A work of art, Steve. It's worth as much as anyone is willing to pay for it. No more, no less.
Apparently, Vernon Scripps has now bought the whole set. I can't let him waste his money like that.
Well, if he doesn't want them, I can always take them back.
It's not proper for me as a local Bobby or my family to be running up dodgy phone bills and flogging things in pubs.
I'm sorry, Steve. Whatever I do, I seem to let you down. I only want to help.
Come on. Best be getting back.
Jack, darling. Oh, no, sorry. Yes, this is the police house. No, I'm afraid he's not. Break-in? The rectory? Gloomy place. I passed it on my walk today. No, the chap definitely said he saw an intruder breaking in. Will you make sure Steve gets the message quickly?
Move!
Let's have a look at you.
Mum! You all right?
I'm fine. Meet Des Res.
Matthews has been fired and was working out his notice. His head office found he conned an old lady.
Why didn't head office tell you about it?
Well, they hushed it up, let him work out his notice. Where did you learn to throw a man like that?
Army wives training in Germany.
Mum passed out top wife self-defence classes, British Army on the Rhine, 3 years running.
About the only useful thing that came out of my time there. Apart from my lovely Stevie, of course.
Well, we owe you a debt of thanks.
Sorry to interrupt, Sarge. Taxi for Mrs. Gray.
Oh.
Why didn't you tell me you were going?
I only found out this morning. Jack phoned. He sold his novel to Universal Pictures. They want him to write the screenplay. We're in the money. He's cabled some bread so I can fly to California in the morning. I'll be back. Goodbye, Stevie, darling. I must fly, otherwise I'll miss my train. David! David! Remember me? That? Constable Crane's mum? Hi. Hi there.
Oh!
Be an angel. Give us a lift to Steve's place.
So, of course, the big posh car had to go back.
Wow. Hey.
Well, he's right back where he started.
Poor old Vernon. But that's life. And the trick of life is not to live in the past. Keep moving forward, David. Welcome change. Change is your friend.
Oh, yeah, well, I know that. I mean, I always welcome change.
Ta-da! I was going to phone or drop a line, then I thought, this is such good news, I'll surprise you in person.
It usually turns out to be anything but good news.
Relax, Stevie. I'm a changed woman. It's new leaf time. Wait till you hear my news. All changed. Changed utterly, as the poet said. Yeats. Don't look so alarmed. I'm through with painters, poets, writers. Dreamers, the lot of them. You and your dad have got it right. Regimented lives.
Due back on duty, Mum.
The point is, Stevie, my wandering days are over.
No more trips to California with writer boyfriends, then?
That's ancient history. So's London. I'm coming back to my northern roots to lead a settled existence.
Oh, yeah? Where exactly?
I'll only be under your feet for a few days till I find somewhere to live. I've got a job.
What job?
Assistant librarian, Ashfordley Library. I start tomorrow. Isn't it fab? You see, I really have changed.
I'm going away tomorrow. It's not that convenient for you to stay here.
Babs, I'm delighted. I look forward very much to you marking my library book.
We live in changing times, Oscar. Women are no longer strangers to the workplace. Look around you.
Maybe I should employ one at the garage. Make a nice change.
Where's our lovely Gina this evening?
I sent her upstairs to have a nap.
Good luck tomorrow, Babs.
How do I look for my first day?
Wow, Mum, you look like a librarian.
Exactly. Everything must change. The outer as well as the inner woman. What was it your dad used to say? A tidy appearance shows a tidy mind.
A joy down the route we'll be taking. Not that there'll be much use on the moors if things go wrong here.
Stevie, nothing is going to go wrong. I'm a highly organised working woman. I've written down the bus times to Ashfordley, phone number of the library, everything I need.
You will take care of the place.
Oh, Stevie, have a good trip.
A pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Crane. May I compliment you on your appearance?
Thank you. I think it's very important to give the right impression when dealing with the general public.
Yes, indeed. I gather your experience of libraries is rather limited.
I took a course. This is my first actual job. But I love reading. Books are a real passion of mine.
A liking for books is all very well within moderation. It's important, however, to keep a sense of professional detachment in this job.
Oh, of course. Yes. Very important.
What would you say is the cornerstone to any properly run library?
Books.
No.
Reading.
No.
Shelves.
No. The word I'm looking for is silence. I strictly enforce it here. Oh, we're about to admit the public. Any noise or chatter, turf them straight out.
Yes, of course. Morning.
Never wise to greet them too enthusiastically. One goes to the trouble of categorising and listing books, and what do? Take them off the shelves and put them back in the wrong place. They fold back pages, leave sticky fingerprints on the covers, scribble inside them. I do sometimes despair. I'm afraid the biggest drawback to any public library is the public. Look at him. Been coming in here all the week, taking up a chair, doesn't even bother to pretend to read.
You're new here, aren't you?
It's my first day.
Nice to see a smiling face, I must say. Then one day my world fell apart.
Really?
My wife left me for a younger man. Said I'd become dull, boring, only interested in business. She was right. So I sold up. I got into Eastern religion, meditation.
I was into that at one time.
Then we got kicked out of our retreat.
That's a nasty cough. You want to get some medicine for that. It's funny, isn't it? You gave up an ordered existence to find yourself through an alternative lifestyle. I've given up freewheeling to knuckle down to a regular job.
Mrs. Crane, I think your time might be more fruitfully spent reorganising the non-fiction section A to E. All right.
Rick, what are you doing?
This bench is my bed for the night.
You can't sleep on there.
I gave all my worldly goods to Mr. Shirishi when he opened the pathway to purity and wisdom for me.
He took all your money.
No, I gave it to him. To find true wisdom, You must surrender earthly material things.
Unless you're Mr. Shirishi. He's staying in comfort at the pub.
Oh, well, he's already a wise man.
Isn't he just? Well, he can't stay out here with that cough. Come on, I have a couch you can use. Come on.
I was a little concerned by your fraternising with the public yesterday, Mrs. Crane. We keep our status by keeping our distance.
I like talking to people. They interest me.
Well, try to keep the chit-chat to a minimum today, please.
Babs, thanks for last night.
Oh.
These are my mates.
Hi. Hi there.
The playing of musical instruments is not permitted. What's going on?
They're meditating.
This is a library, not a Buddhist temple.
No one's complaining.
I'd like you to leave.
A few of them have got bad coughs. They just want to stay in the warm.
It's not a shelter for vagrants either. Come on, let's have you out.
I really can't see that they're doing any harm.
I expect my staff to support my actions, Mrs. Crane, not question them. Come along, let's have you out or I'll call the police.
Now, that is ridiculous.
I agree.
Do you? In that case, why don't you leave with them? I'm very disappointed in you, Mrs. Crane. Very.
Oh, Babs, I am sorry.
I'm not. You can't change who you really are, and I'm just not cut out for this nonsense! Right. Let's go. Power to the people. Hare Krishna and all that jazz.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Rama, Rama,
My sweet lord, Sergeant Merton.
Hardly appropriate use of a police house, Mrs. Crane.
I'm so sorry, Sergeant Merton. I've let Stevie down again, haven't I?
Look, I'm very anxious to contact him. Have you any idea where he might be?
Just the moors, that's all. Oh, hang on a minute. Did he give me a bit of paper?
He did?
I put it somewhere.
Your handbag, perhaps?
Of course. Silly me. Oh, no, that's bus times. Here it is. Being dropped at the car park, Scarsdale Point, then on to Stony Pike Moor.
Thanks very much.
I'm off, Stevie. Back to London.
We'll keep in touch and send me your address.
Well, I've got one. Perhaps I'm just not cut out for settling down, eh?
Perhaps not. Take care, Mum.